Well, hello there. Welcome to episode 12 of an ongoing series where we basically take the camera anywhere we want and we try to break the boundaries of some of our favorite Nintendo games to find as many undiscovered goodies as we possibly can. So let's jump right in. So you may notice that Luigi's gasping for air because he's dying from a poison overdose. I know, I'm just as shocked as you are. I mean, I've never seen Luigi poisoned in the game before. This is interesting. Let's keep poisoning him. The way this was pulled off was with an AR cheat code that allows you to use an unused animation that is meant for when Luigi is poisoned. But since he never gets poisoned in the game, there was no use for the animation, so they scrapped it. Whoop, oh, we killed Luigi. Now, anyone who's played Luigi's Mansion before has definitely seen this scene. It's one of the first ones you see when you boot up the game. But, and this is a big juicy but, what I bet you didn't know was that there's something going on in the background. I found this to be particularly creepy at first because it's, well, a bouncing figure that's in the same spot where Luigi came out of the woods. But upon closer inspection, I think I know what it's supposed to be. I believe it's the straps that go to the Poltergust 3000. Weird, right? But I think it's also warped at the bottom so that it can spring bounce, which is so strange. Makes you wonder, was it supposed to be a ghost at some point and they just swapped it out for the straps? Or is this just a gag that the developers had all along? I guess we'll never know. So I thought to myself, you know what? For a game about ghosts, all the stuff that's getting included in this episode is pretty creepy. I guess that's fitting, right? So if you know all things Nintendo, you may have seen this boss already, but if you're not, this is an unused boss that was found in the European version of the game. If you put in a certain AR cheat code, which I will link to down below, you can have this disgusting monster replace Toad in the game. Alright, I think we're done here. This guy makes me a little nervous. Yeah, solid colors for artwork, huh? I never really understood abstract art. How about you show me what you had in the back there, buddy? Ah, now this is what I'm talking about. Portrait art. I love portrait art. Now, why would you hide this from the general public? In fact, you hit it twice. The small picture is kind of a little blotchy, a little hard to see, but there's a larger image behind the muscle man's bust, and you can see this portrait just fine. It looks beautiful. I'd hang it up on my wall. Alright, here's the opening cutscene, and I decided to go all wacky-tobacky with the camera here, but just in case you forgot what the original intro looked like, I provided the original thingy down below. Yep, that's right. I called it a thingy. We don't worry about professionalism. Professionalism? We don't worry about professionalism on the show. Oh boy. Birds! We're not here for the birds this time, though. Zooming it out, you can actually see that they're perched on a tree that doesn't actually exist any other time in the game. Yep, they just made a tree specifically for those two, black birds.
Hello?
Egad, you crazy old man! What you doing living in a hole for? He would live in a hole. Well, anyway, in Egad's lab, we never really had a chance to explore or roam around inside of Egad's lab because it's relegated to cutscene. But with Magic Camera, we can go anywhere we want. So this ladder would lead to the shanty shack from which he descends down from. And if you look away from the room, there's a lone gold coin off in the blackness. What are you doing there, my friend? You ever wonder what it looked like when you zoomed out on the locked door cutscenes? Of course you did. So did I. So let's take a look at it right now. Ah, that's kind of strange. A disembodied arm and what I can only describe as saloon doors. Yeehaw! And now we are in the beta room, provided once again by AR cheat codes. So as you can see in this room, there is a candelabra halfway through the ground, and we can use the free roam camera to confirm that. And there's also a painting of Mario, a disembodied arm of Luigi, and the ghost in the room is either King Boo without a crown, or a small Bulossus. The red eyes give it away, but it doesn't give away enough. So in this room, there's just a bunch of tables. Not sure exactly why the developers needed a room full of tables, But as you can see in this footage, Luigi's able to walk right through them, and I'm not sure why that is exactly, but it's amusing to me. I love it. Now, you may not have noticed, but this particular room actually has unique textures that you cannot find anywhere else in the game. But beyond that, it's just an empty room. There's not really much else to it. And yes, you can use the doors, but I choose not to because it wastes time. And we're going to go up this staircase, not because there's anything there, but just so that we all know that there's nothing there. And this room on the far right has some ladders that we can check out, but more importantly, it has what I like to call the jerkwad boo, because, well, you interact with him in any way, and it just goes, we're done. Okay, so now we're in the pantry room, and we're going to check out some of the perishables that are stored in the pantry room. And as you can see, there's some very specific food items here, like food, and food backwards, which kind of makes it look a little bit like boot. Ooh, fresh boot. And cheese. Although I don't know why that's a separate category from food. Wait, what are you trying to tell me, Luigi's Mansion? Have I been lied to all these years? So in the portrait chamber, there's a couple secrets. One in particular is this picture of 3 ghosts. Now, at first I thought they were playing poker together, but it doesn't really look like they're doing that. And the one on the left looks an awful lot like Slimer from Ghostbusters. And here's another little interesting tidbit. When Luigi hits the results screen, another Luigi spawns in the back of the room. Spooky! Okay, we don't need any of that. Spoiler warning, I'm going to be showing footage at the end of the game, so if you don't want to see any footage at the end of the game, you might as well click out now. So, we're at the end of the game now, and the first thing that you're going to notice is that there's a unique picture used for when Mario gets zapped back to life. It's never used in the painting, and it's never used when he's actually alive, and so this image is unique to this one scene. But what's interesting about it is that you can't really see it at the angle that the game allows you to view the ending in, which is a shame because it's a very nice pixelated image of Mario jumping. And here's a sweet angle of Mario getting, I don't even know what you call it, rehydrated? You know, like when you put the little sponges into the water and they expand into big gushy dinosaurs and you realize you wasted $2? It's like that! So this is kind of funny. The way that they pulled this scene off was as Mario's shooting through the vent, they shrunk his head down so he didn't clip through the device. Clever, but also hilarious looking. They also stored Mario's model over to the right before shooting him out of the machine. And that static model is used when he pops out of the vent for the first time, and that's why he's completely emotionless. And we're going to end this episode on a flat note. And what is a flat note, you might ask? Well, that would just be a very stupid, boring fact like the one I'm about to tell you. Did you know that Luigi's shoes have laces in this game? Whereas for some reason, Mario's does not. Tell all your friends! Alright, thanks for watching the episode. I decided to do this outside because I felt like this episode was a little too dark and scary, so I wanted to give it some color. But yeah, thanks for watching. I took out the intro this time just to see if you guys like it, or if you don't. We're gonna find out, and I'll do a poll for that down below, but I'll also let you guys decide the next game. Is it going to be Majora's Mask, or is it going to be Mario Party 6? You can decide for yourself also in the poll down below. There's a spider right behind me, so I'm kind of like, I don't want to keep my eye off of it, but this is why I don't do this outside. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Later. Oh shit. Okay, it's still there.